Greetings, hello, welcome everyone, welcome to DevChatter. We are going to go ahead and get started today. If you're new, hello. This channel is very open and welcoming. We're an awesome community of developers. We are open to questions and help out new people, so feel free to ask questions if you want. And if you feel like just sitting around and watching, that's great too. So welcome everyone. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic start of your week. Hey, hi Simon. And let's see, quick intro. So my name is Brendan. This channel obviously is DevChatter. I know I mentioned that. We usually try to stream a few times a week here. As I said, I'm the host of the channel, but we are a fairly significant community of people. We have a Discord where we chat about various things, usually computer-related stuff, occasionally games, that sort of thing. So you can find fun, interesting conversations with your peers over there. One other thing I wanted to mention, we have started a YouTube series here on DevChatter that is called DevChatter Basics. Our first episode came out on Saturday, and I am working on other episodes of that as well. These are designed to be foundational, I guess, and informational videos, sort of explaining concepts that, while they are the basics within programming in C#, they are designed to make sure that the information provided would be useful to someone that is even an experienced developer. So trying to get a good breadth of that as well. So let's talk about the subject of what we are working on today, which I realize I have another program I need to open while we're doing this. So first things first, I added a new feature to our program yesterday. I had a cool idea and I was like, hey, I'm gonna try this out and we'll do this on stream tomorrow. It'll be fun. And then I was like, let me see how difficult it'll be. I'll just give it a little try and we'll see what happens with it. Rubik's coming in with the 12-month sub. Rubik's, that's awesome. You have, according to S&B, a Grinodon or a Smilosaurus, one or the other. But yes, 12 months, that is awesome. Thank you very much for the 12 months of, and Katrina. So Katrina and Rubik's jumping in with the 12-month Twitch Prime resubs right there. That is some hype to start the stream. So, as I was saying, the thing that we are... So, thank you, by the way. But the thing that that I was explaining, I was thinking, like, yeah, I'll go try this. We'll see how complicated it is. It shouldn't be too hard. It's pretty easy. And then, like, I was done. So, adding this feature took, like, less than an hour. So, yeah, I hadn't planned on that one. And I apologize. I'm going to kick on AC. It's kind of warm here. So, and I apologize if that gets loud, just yell at me and I'll try to talk loud enough that it doesn't matter. Hey, Pudding, welcome. It's going pretty well. So, while we talk about this, let me explain. So, I mentioned, for anyone that's been watching this series, we have been building a program that adds Twitch chat interaction to Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, of course, I mean the original, not the remake that doesn't exist yet. Well, I mean, I guess it exists, but certainly I don't have access to it. And what we have been building is a number of just ways that chat can get involved with the game. So if someone is streaming it, they're playing through the game on a stream, chat can do some fun stuff. Let me connect it so that we can show. So chat can do interesting things like change the menu color, or they can vote for names of characters that they want to get renamed. So if you want Cloud to be named after you, you can do that. Chat can also suggest they can change the equipment the characters have on them, so they could decide to change their weapons or their armor or their accessories. They can apply status effects to the characters mid-combat, so they could either give them positive status effects that help the streamer, or they could give them negative status effects. So there's a number of ways that they can get involved. But I did something interesting recently. So for anyone that used our menu command before, pointed right there, says how to use it. And let me confirm that I currently have its cost set to 0. Minimum. Okay, so menu's free right now. Good. So when you did that, what would happen is I would just change the settings in the game for what the menu color is supposed to be, and blink, the new color would appear. If anyone in chat would be so kind as to type in the menu command, either do random or one of the named palettes if you like, or specify all the colors. There you go. So I changed it a little bit. Instead of just instantly going to that color, we're now stepping like a little bit at a time so that we slowly transition to the new color. So maybe someone set the color to black or something like that, and or you can just random it again and you'll watch as it slowly shifts to the next color each time you do that. So it's really kind of neat to just watch it just blend to that next color. So I'm a big fan. Yeah, so whole thing has just gone orange, and you can, like, it can just get changed as much as people want. I have buttons on here. So when you do a new random color palette, you'll see it shifts over to whatever palette you've chosen, and it's just a nice slow change, which is really kind of cool. And the code I wrote, as I said, I did this in less than an hour because I was just like, proof of concept, like, how hard will this be? Will this affect performance? And I was kind of like, let's try it and see what happens. So I did that, and then I was like, well, crap, I did the thing I was planning on doing on stream. So on stream today, we're gonna both take a look at that code. Yeah, it was very much a, how hard could it be? Because I'm like, this got to be pretty easy, but let's just go take a look. Turns out it was easy. Not super thrilled by the code, because like I did just like, I need to extract out a little bit of repetition that's in it that I think shouldn't be there. And then the other thing that I want to adjust about it is I kind of realized at one point, because people were talking about how crazy this would get, I realized it would actually be kind of cool to like trigger rainbow mode or something like that, where was the last feature you added something like smoother transitions? Pudding, yeah, so that slow transition, that's the feature we just added. It used to just blink to whatever the new one was, and it would just instantly switch to the new one. And here, I'll show you what that looks like, now that I think about it. Because, didn't add the feature to the screen, I can't show you what it looks like. Not live, anyway. Unless I turn it off, we'll just stop it, and I'll just switch the feature off. So false on the transition colors. So we'll just turn it off and we'll run it again. I'll reconnect and then you can see what it used to look like, because that'll give a quick explanation to anyone that hasn't seen the original feature. So we will go ahead and connect into chat again, and I'll bring up the game. And now when I do menu random, you'll see that it just instantly blinks to the other colors. You see how it just does that? There's no slow like switch over to that. So that's why that feature is so nice, is because it really is like makes it look good, to say the least. So that's what we ended up putting in there, and I will show you all the code that makes that work. Which, actually, good point. Why am I starting this? I want to show the code. So let's take a look at the code, and then we're going to build rainbow mode together. Where my plan for rainbow mode is we're going to have, like, when you trigger this, like a rainbow command or something along those lines, maybe it will, for like a minute, just be like switching, you know, like transitioning to a new random color palette and then to another one and just jumping around. Might be an interesting thing to just have it be changing for a little while. Okay, so as I told you, code is a bit repetitive, so I need to fix this. This is basically the code that does all of that. What I said was, hey, if transition colors is currently turned on, then you're going to do all the intermediate steps and then apply the last one. So essentially making it so that this last one was just triggered no matter what, whether or not it was turned on. So the feature is just whether or not we do the the medium steps there. Oh yeah, no, yeah, pudding. Yes, exactly. That is the funny thing, actually, is you are correct. There's a well-known streamer that was talking about this program that we built, and he was mentioning that that it would look weird just changing too frequently. But at the same time, I would actually say to anyone that's doing this on a large stream, just put the cost high, and then it's not a problem. Because if people want to make it blink at $5 a blink, then yeah, like who cares if they make it blink? And if they still make it blink too much on you, just raise it higher. Like that's in some ways a good problem to have. Okay, so here's what we did. I set it up so it's doing like 19 steps or something like that. And yeah, there could be cooldown, or what we could do is make it so that it just puts you on the queue to be the next color, and maybe the menu, it will last at least a minute and then switch to whoever's color is next in the list. Would be another way to handle that. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So our code right now is not terrible. As I said, the only real challenge that we have with it is that, well, first off, I am doing a round, but you know what? It might actually be faster to just do the chop and forget about rounding, but we haven't really run into performance problems with it, so who knows? Okay, so start color, end color, and grab all the intermediary steps. So if we do this, then that's left, right, top right, bottom right. So top left, top right, bottom right. So I'm wondering if there's a way that I can separate this out. So let's try and pull these as a separate thing. So I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of refactoring first off. So here's what I'm going to try to do to get rid of some of this duplication. So step one is I'm going to extract a method, and this is going to be, the name is going to be do something. And the reason it's do something is I don't know what it needs to get named yet. It's the short answer. Now what this did is it created these as output parameters. That's not what we're doing. Not what we're doing at all. So we're going to call this var top left increments. Actually, how about tlinker? tlincr. I'm not huge on doing too much variable name abbreviation because I think it can get you into trouble. But in this case, I'm going to make that exception. Okay, so tlinker is going to have a few properties. This is going to be in do something, which we're going to jump down to. It is not going to return a double. It is going to return back, well, I mean, it is going to return a double. But it's going to return more than one double. So it's going to return R double G double B. So RGB. Perfect. We're going to keep steps on there. This is going to come down to its own line because at least if I do this structure, I read this a little bit better. And then the last thing that we're going to do is create these. So this will be double those, and then this is going to be R, G, B, and we're going to return back RGB. There we go. Awesome. I was assuming you're just going to store the current and target color and use a timer to increment. What do you mean, Miha? So, So we are incrementing based on this step. So right now what I'm doing is I'm creating all of the intermediary step colors that we are going to shift. So I'm basically just going to grab the 20 colors that we need to shift, apply those, and then that's what we're going to add in. And hey, Stool Penner, welcome. Hopefully you're having a pretty good day. Okay, so this is the start color and the end color. That is not actually what we want to have here, because remember, I'm trying to remove this duplication, not just hide the logic. So what we need to do is change this so that this is the extracted variable. So I'm going to tell this to replace this occurrence with a with the ending color. Actually, before I rename that, we're going to make this ending colors, plural, and start colors. Okay. Now the reason why is because then I don't run into a renaming problem. So this will be ending color, and then this one, which I extract out, is going to be the start color. Now we no longer need that parameter or this parameter. And what I want you to notice when we look at this, thanks Alvarog, I'm guessing. Thank you for that follow, much appreciated. The reason why is that we are able to change this now into this structure. So start color, end color, steps, and when we look up here, because we wrote it this way, we can now extract out this logic so that we can do the same thing for each one of these. So I can just call this 4 times, and it will do the exact same thing. So that's bottom left, this is top right, and this is bottom right. So bottom left, we get this nice structure, easy to work with, a little bit of code reuse so it's not quite as repetitive, and it's going to look a lot cleaner once I delete the old code down here. So we'll get rid of these. And then this right here, we just need to switch because essentially those... yeah, ICR, and then that's .R, G, and B. And then the same thing happens on the next one. So first off, we remove that, and I'm going to remove it from here as well, and from here, even though, again, this code is also going to get the same treatment, where we're going to extract out the logic by figuring out what is it that each one of these does, and make it do that same code. Well, Alvaro, that works. Hey, Alvaro. Greetings. And thank you for that follow. And anyone else that's in chat, if you are enjoying the stream, be sure to click the follow button, as it is the best way to get notified when we go live. So we're going to put that on there, and boom. Just like that, we have removed a bunch of duplicate code, so awesome. I don't have the program running right now, so you won't be able. So menu random won't do anything just yet. I will start it up so people can see what it is. So for anyone that's just coming in, what we are doing right now is we are refactoring some of our code that that we're working on here in the stream, and I will show you what that does because it is pretty cool. So let me connect this to the chat. So go ahead and try it now if you want. Basically what it does is this. So whenever you put in a random color, we'll slowly transition to that color. So the code we're working on right now is what actually decides all the intermediary steps that we go through as the menu color changes. So you don't have to just do random, you can also specify the colors, like the actual colors that you want to use. And it works both with named colors as well as hex values. So yeah, if you want to turn the whole thing yellow, you can turn the whole thing yellow. And you'll see it slowly transitions, and you'll notice that it's every corner is going at a a steady pace to that next color. So Yeah, sorry. Here. You gotta specify 4 colors, but I can always go back to default. Coding Gorilla, you had the power the whole time to fix the colors. Okay. So pudding, yes, there is a fixed transition time, so sorry, Lucient, I just disconnected it. There is a fixed amount of time that it's going to take. Right now, it is going to transition over the course of, I think, 2 seconds is how long it's going to take. So whenever you change the color, 2 seconds later, it's going to change it. It will get to the new color. I think it looks really smooth at that speed, but who knows? Maybe it looks better somewhere else. I only tried a few speeds. Okay, so do something obviously isn't do something. So this is get RGB increments, maybe we'll call it. So get RGB increments, plural. There we go. So that looks at this and gets increments based on those steps. So yeah, that works. Next thing we need to do is down here in the for loop. I want to set this up to do the same kind of thing, because we can definitely get the RGB values for each one of these inside of a method, and again, we'll make it a little bit nicer. So let's go ahead and extract a method again. So since we now have do something again, why don't I call it do something? A name's available, so let's go for it. So this is going to be var TL RGB. So that'll be the the TL RGB. It's not going to need those parameters. We do not need the output parameters, so we just need the start color and we'll say start color top left. Paramedic coming in with the 4-month Twitch Prime sub. Hype, hype. Very nice, and thank you for throwing that this way. I actually do hope you enjoy all of our awesome Chatosaurus emotes and use them all around Twitch, because I think they are spectacular. Oh, wait a minute. It took that in as a... Oh, that's so cool, because it said, hey, you can pass that in all at once instead of passing it in 3 times. That's funny. Okay. Okay, so we don't need these. Not really. So this is RGB. This is going to return RGB. Which actually, now that I think about it, why don't we just have this return the color? Why don't we just have this will return a color? That's gonna be way nicer. We're returning a color. Colors. There we go. RGB. So we'll just do that. We'll create the color here, return it back. So the way that we're getting these colors, here's what I did. I will give you the quick explanation. So in this first method, we take the distance between the red value, the green value, and the blue value of our starting color and our ending color. Once we have that, we have essentially what's the span between, like what's the gap between them. So like the difference between, you know, white and black, for example, is going to be number 255 on each one of these. And what we're going to say is if you're transitioning from white to black, we said, you know, it should be 19 steps, so it's going to take 255, divide it by 19, and that is essentially the increment step that we're going to take. So on each one of these, we are just going to add in, you know, 255 over 19, whatever that value is, at each step, and then that's what's going to give us our colors. So essentially transitioning us slowly. So the further the two colors are from each other, the choppier, the jumpier the color transition will be. The closer they are, the smoother it'll be. We could have done that, like, we base the number of steps on the total distance or something weird like that, but I think it looks nice enough as is. I don't think it's worth the additional effort that would require. Okay, so that does the RGB increments. This should get us our color. Now, I changed the way this worked because I don't want to menu colors. I want a color that is the start color. Oh, what's top left color? Top left is a menu colors? Oh, it's a color. It didn't like that? Oh, okay. It apparently I just didn't wait long enough for it to disappear. Then let's rename this from that to increment. So that'll be the RGB. And then this will be step number. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I don't think a lot of people will be able to calculate the color with the longest distance easily, but then we shouldn't underestimate the power of the internet. Yeah, so the point is that they won't need to know that, but that's why we coded in here. No one calling this code should actually need to be able to figure that out on their own. So now I'm not a big fan of the way we have this inker right here, so I think I'm gonna break this out to just be, you know, double RGB inkers on their own. Oh, because these are, yeah. Yeah, so we'll make that inker R. Inker, and then do RGB. So that'll be inker G and inker B. So that's the increment for each one of those. And let's drop that down to that line, so mildly readable. Then on this, it'll be R. G and B. R, G, B. Just like that. So this is no longer do something. This is now get that color. So it goes here. Whoops, here. Just like that. And we no longer need that code either. So if you're watching that, that's clearing up pretty nicely. So our code duplication's disappearing. Hey, the Michael Jolly, welcome. So I think that looks much better than what we had before. So now we can put this in here, this in here, this in here, and we'll just change from TL inker to BL, and actually I'm going to do this with insert. That's going to be TR, 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 and this will be BR, whoops, BR, and then that's I, and BR. And then on these ones, this is going to be bottom left, top right, and bottom right. Now, none of this code is used anymore, and hooray! Ugly duplication gone. We have made that a couple of easy methods. Let's fix this one's name. So this is no longer do something. This is calculate step color. So, passing in the steps and that, and hey, no complaints there. Did we do anything weird with these? This is that is unchanging, so that's going to be an in parameter. That'll be an in, and that'll be an in as well. Because I'm betting it'll be a little bit faster to do ins on those. Not that I'm terribly worried about that. So I just realized I should specify what that is because some people in the chat might not know. If you don't know what the in keyword is, then I just added to these parameters right here, the start color and the end color. I put in this in right here. So if you've never seen that in C#, that was added to C# in either 7.1, 7.2, or 7.3. I don't remember which one. It was one of those three. And it is part of what C#'s improvements to structs, so in one of those versions, they added in the concept of having ref read-only structs. So you could define that you wanted to have a struct. So that means it's going to be a value type. So the data itself is stored with the method in C#. And what that means is that if you pass it to another method, it's passed by value. That's why it's called a value type, is because when you pass it to a method, you actually duplicate the whole thing. Since a color has a few bytes of data, it's not big, so it's not really a problem to be duplicating it, but I also see no reason to duplicate it and create additional ones. So instead, what I'm creating is I guess I'd be creating a pointer to that. The color might be small, color's small enough, I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's going to be valuable on color. But if our struct were a little bit larger, say it contained a string, because I don't think that color actually stores the name value if you didn't create it by name. But if you stored a string value or something like that, which I guess that would be referenced as well, I guess it's just number of values that you have in there. If you have a whole bunch of doubles and things like that, then your struct might be large enough that it's not worth copying it a whole bunch of times, because I am talking about copying it like 20 times here, potentially on a stream with someone that has like thousands of people watching. Seems a bad idea to copy it if I don't need to, but we'll take a look at that and actually see what the size of a color is, and then we'll decide whether or not I should put that in parameter in there. Anyway, so what the in parameter would have done if I'd left it in there is it would actually tell C#, hey, by the way, I know that's a value type, why don't you pass that by reference, but also optimize the code because I'm telling you that it's going to be read-only, I'm not going to change it, I promise. So you sort of give C# the promise of, hey, I'm not going to change that value, it's going to be static, but also make it pass a reference. So that's one of the tricks that you can do if you don't want to pass a large struct around. So, okay, let's try the code. Let's just take a look. So, in fact, the Michael Jolly hasn't even seen the code yet. Michael, it's time for you to use a chat command if you're still there. Hopefully you're still there, because this is important. Very, very, very important. Yeah, you use this command that's right here next to my face. Try that one. Either one, actually. Let's go. Let's do this. Whoa. Yeah. So the neat thing is that now instead of just instantly just blinking to the next color, it actually switches us through all the intermediary colors, like all the color, like just switches between, some intermediary colors so that it looks nice as you do that. So, yeah, and we can switch it back to the default, and you'll see that it just slowly goes there. Yep. And there's tossing in some other colors. Yep, exactly. Everyone's doing that right. You can just see it starts transitioning around as you type those in. So it's very cool, I think. I think it looks really neat. So, and that little color bit is how we do that. So, we're just finding all the intermediate, all the steps. So we're doing 20 steps in between and doing basically shifting those colors. Now, literally, what we're actually doing to make that happen right now is we are, writing what that color is supposed to be directly into the memory of the game 20 times every time someone does that. So it's kind of ridiculous, but also kind of amazing that we're able to do that, because that is a completely unmodded version of Final Fantasy VII that is standard out of the box. You can buy that on Steam exactly the way it is and run this program, and game's not altered, game's not affected, game's not changed, and colors. You're like, wait, what? Yep. Because we just write them straight onto memory, so it's really cool. Okay, so that works. About as well as I expected it would too. I don't think I could. I don't think I could ask it to work much better than that. So let's take a look at what we just did, because we just cleaned up a bunch of code duplication here. So we got rid of our code where I was just repeating the same things like 12 times. So that's like the same code 12 times right there. And realistically, we are still doing a little bit of repetition, because our new version still repeats the step 3 times. But I think that's minimal enough that I think the cost of extracting out methods to do each of these is just going to be a waste. So I think that works fine. So we do these as groups based on like top left all at once, top right all at once, and then we end up with the colors we need. So cool. So we'll call this remove step color code duplication. So that's removing most of that code duplication, because as I said, I just slapped it together yesterday and was thrilled that it worked, so kind of hard to complain when it works. So we're going to go to the menu color accessor again. Is there a way to not charge people for their message if they do it wrong? So pudding. Yeah, so that's actually already in place. So right now, in the copy that I'm running here, my settings have it so that the menu color is a free action. So that's why, like, it's none of you are having to put bits up in order to do that. But what you can actually do, so the way I have it configured right now, anyone that cheers in the chat while you are running this program, those cheers are, the bits from that are turned into gil inside of that application. And so the idea is if they do mess it up and they put in a cheer and they were trying to change the menu color, but they put 3 colors instead of 4, for example, then it does not take their gil because they did not actually use the menu command correctly, and they can actually just run the menu command again. So it effectively won't charge them for it, and as long as they still have the gil, they didn't spend it on something else, then they can just use it on that. So right now, the bot actually maintains your bank of gil, like an account for you while it's running. Like, it does not persist that, because, you know, the goal of it is to be someone messed up a thing, not a, you know, like, save up money for future weeks. No, it's not that. It is very much just is in case you mess it up, and so you have the convenience of not having to put a cheer every time you do a command. You could just cash in at the beginning. Welcome, developers, coming in from Brandon Satram's chat. So to answer your question, Surly Dev, that you asked earlier, so hello, welcome everyone. Greetings, I know a bunch of these people, and thank you for tossing the hype in there, Stoolpenner. Hello. Surly Dev, so the reason why I did not answer your question in Brandon's chat of whether or not I was streaming today is because I was, you know, about to go streaming, and it's not really all that polite to be in someone else's chat and be like, hey, I'm about to go stream. I mean, you sort of can sometimes if you, like, been hanging out for a while, but yeah, I was just stopping in to say hi. Welcome everyone, greetings, and anyone that wants to defend us from our chat and is a subscriber, feel free to get in battle and start, get your Chattosauruses fighting. Hopefully you can kill Brandon Satram or one of his viewers with Chatosaurus violence. Chatosaurus violence is the only violence we condone here in this chat room, and even then only in the form of emotes that are attacking each other. That is it. Hey Brandon, greetings, welcome. Let's see, yes you are, I expected you to be starting at 9, I understand you not wanting to say you were about to get live. Yep, exactly. So welcome everyone. I'm actually wondering how Brandon did on your, how did you do, Brandon, on the, you were playing the Game of Life in Python, it seemed like. Your name is Brandon and you just got here. Well, welcome Brandon. Greetings. So poorly. Brandon, I don't remember if you're a Python developer or anything like that. I got the impression no, because you were saying something about first time TDDing in Python or something, so either you'd used Python and just not their TDD before, or you'd never used Python and any of their automated testing tools. Either way, sounded like a hilarious challenge. It's always fun to just mess with stuff. So, like, the first time I used Vue.js was actually, I was just using it, like, I've actually used it for anything, was on stream, and I can tell you, I bashed my head against the wall trying to make that work. I mean, Vue, don't get me wrong, Vue was pretty easy to pick up, but it's one of those things of, like, you do it on stream and you just kind of feel dumb the whole time because you get to make all your mistakes in public that everyone else is just used to. Like, oh yeah, you sit there and read for a little while. No, we don't get to do that, so we have to do more head against walls. Captain Kai, the code's going pretty well. So, everyone that just came in, welcome. Let me show you what we're doing, because it's cool. So, if you have not seen this before, if you are new to the channel, right now we are working on this program right here. This program is really designed to be in chat, so you'll notice that it just set a message in there, and Stool Penner just did a thing. So let me reset us back to the default menu color. So when you start up a game of Final Fantasy VII, your menu looks like this. And this is just the base color inside the game. You can change these colors to whatever other colors you want. So, for example, you could choose these colors and these colors. And so the program that we've been working on used to just make this like instant transition, so like you'd type in a new color and it would just blink to the next color. But we adjusted this, so now it slowly transitions to the new colors. So you can put in any set of 4 colors that you want, and it will just, yep, just like that. And hey, maybe you'll find a cool color palette that you really like. So it's neat stuff. So slowly transitioning is what we have just been working on. So it actually goes through all the steps in between, and the way it does that, it just calculates colors that are between those colors and just transitions between them. So it goes start color to end color and finds 20 steps between them and puts one of those in every 100 milliseconds or something like that. So really neat stuff. And that is actually not the only thing that we've been doing with that, because it actually also lets you change the names of the characters. So, for example, wait, did someone refresh? Did someone refresh? Or did I refresh? Oh, when I restarted the program, that's what did it. So, Brandon, you're still here, so I think. Congratulations, buddy. Check that out. Look at the name of that character right there. Yeah, totally. I don't know if you saw that, but chat actually has control of the character names in the game, so you can do things like that. So we built a lot of cool stuff like that into this. So, for example, I could say, you know, Barrett's new name is, you know, Gunhand. And congratulations, Barrett's name is now Gunhand. So we give chat the ability to affect change within the game while a streamer's playing it. So I think it's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, sadly you don't have 500 gil there. But yes, that is effectively how it would work. And I have a feeling that that is a very common name to go with. The challenge you're going to run into there also, sorry, yes, early. I just closed it. I killed the program. Sorry, guys. The problem that you're going to run into is there's a 9-character limit on the names as well. So not only did you not have the 500 gil, but you do have to stick to the limitations of the name within the game. So yeah, Tifa, love of my life. I agree. So what? How long would be Cloud Wife? I think Cloud Wife might fit. See, yeah, Cloud Wife fits. That's 9 characters. So you could go with Cloud Wife. There you go. That way you can ship Tifa and Cloud instead of Cloud and Eris. Okay. So, thing that we want to build is a new command. Let's build a new command. Let's do it. New command is going to be Rainbow Command. Because Rainbow Command sounds fun. The Michael Jolly, that will not work. I am sorry. Is very restrictive on what letters you can actually use. Let me show you I'll show you what they are. You know what? Yeah, why not? Letter mapping. These are the valid characters that you can use. So you can use a space, an exclamation point, double quotes. You can use a few symbols. You can use letters, numbers. So that's the only set that you've got. Hey! How's it going? Matthew D. Groves. Person I've never met before. Hello, hello. How's it going? Yep, so the nice thing is, because it has a limited set of characters, that is one of the reasons why we're slightly safer from things like someone trying to mess with the... yes, the Michael Jolly, I know who Matt Groves is. Matt lives like, I don't know, probably like, 2.5 hours away from me, something like that, which means that he and I go to a lot of the same events. Yeah, so limited on characters only because we don't want anything to get weird. So the game, so that is actually the set of characters that the game supports by default. I should specify. Now, technically, I do know that the game supports more characters. I know this because I know what's in the code, because I've been really digging into this game in order to do this project. So I happen to know that Final Fantasy VII supports more characters than their naming screen would allow you to use, but we're not using those. What's in his fridge? I don't know. You're right outside my house right now, looking in with binoculars. Oh yeah, there's really old tomato soup. That's definitely true. Huh. He's got, like, binoculars that see through, like, blackout curtains, I guess. I don't know. That's some advanced stuff you got there, Groves. I'm impressed. Alright, so we don't want to call that. We want to call... X, and it's going to be new command words array, and we'll worry about that in a second. Actually, I'll just put in rainbow for now. And then the next thing that we want to do is the enable check true. I don't have a setting for this yet, so we'll just turn it on. So this command is just straight up going to be on. Since I'm not using these, we don't need them. Alright, what are we going to need to make this work? We're going to need a couple of things. First off, we will need our menu color accessor. So this is the thing that actually does the color changes. You played some FF7 yesterday and got a gold chocobo. That's awesome, Groves. Did you actually do any racing, or did you just go straight for the gold chocobo? And did you breed it, or did you get it by defeating Ruby Weapon? You should keep the soup in check, otherwise it may just attack you. That makes sense. No racing and you just bred it. Okay, yeah, that's cool. It's fun stuff. It's a good game, this one. Menu color accessor. So down here, you call this command. What are we going to do with it? Menu color accessor. So we call this command. Well, first off, we're going to do this. Set menu color to be application settings dot instance dot process name, and the menu color is going to be random menu color. Menu command. Random palette. This needs to get extracted somewhere else. Let's see. I want this to keep looping for 30 seconds. How can an interface be a variable type? Average guy? Oh, so average guy, you're gonna like the next DevChatter basics video that I'm working on. So I'm doing 2 videos actually. I was originally gonna make 1 video. I decided to split it because it's getting a little bit long. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be doing a video that explains types in C#, and then I'm also gonna do a video that explains interfaces in C# and how they work. I was originally gonna do interfaces and types as one concept, but the problem is the types section I think got a little bit large, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to release a video on understanding types in C#, and then I'll do a follow-up video that is explaining how interfaces in C# work. But interfaces are types, and so you can always have variables that are of an interface type. But I will be going into that in that video, and I think it'll explain it. So I can't remember if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel or not. If not, link... Oh, the other bot's dead. Dang it. Well, we'll pretend that there was a YouTube link that appeared there. That's what we'll do. And we'll make one appear again later. Okay, so our rainbow command. How do we want to make this work? We could just loop a number of times for now. Let's see, so like, we'll have it like loop 30 times or something like that for now, which this is not ideal because it like blocks a thing. This isn't async code or anything, so there's no escaping it right now. Menu color, menu command dot random palette. That's not where that code should live, so let's put it to do here so we know to yank that out. Move this elsewhere. But I'm just going to call it there for now, because that's the least amount of effort to make this actually work. Oh, dang it. Did Matt link to the YouTube channel or something? Thanks, Stoolpenner. Yeah, sorry, Matt. Nightbot's aggressive. So when you call this command, it's just going to start running this. So let me do this before we do this. Command data. User is broadcaster. So if the user's not the broadcaster, and command data.user is not me. So it's got to be either the bot can run it itself, or, well, we'll just make it the broadcaster for now. If you're not me, return. So I'll be the only one enabling this command right now. Yeah, figured. Well, thanks either way, Matt. As I said, Nightbot's aggressive. I need to find some ways to tone it down a little bit. Okay, so this is up. Let's hang on. I'm gonna remember to do this before I try it and look stupid for not having it work. This is a regular command. Nothing special about it. Rainbow command. Register it with the IOC container before we do anything else. And the reason why I'm running it with the IOC container right there is because I didn't want it to just scan for it, because I wasn't sure that I wanted to just necessarily have them all just turned on by default. Alright, let's see if this blows up in our face or not. Alright, that's really neat. So you can just literally just play the game with this going. So, like, hang on, just so we can see it, we're going to actually have some real dialogue actually happening here while we're doing this. So these colors should just be shifting the whole time. Look at that. Like, look at it go. That is amazing. The colors are just constantly shifting. Oh my god. That is awesome. I like that a lot. Hopefully it's still going here while we're in combat. Yes, it is. Look at that. That is really cool. And the sad part is every day afternoon is right. You can still jump in with your own color palettes, and it's going to get really muddy if people do that. But yeah, rainbow mode is turned on. It's just going crazy. Oh, that is fantastic. That worked so much better than I thought it would, actually. Is that the color we stopped on? Okay. No, yeah, Surly Dev, if you want to do solid color, you only have to specify it once. But this is what Surly Dev just did, just so we're all clear on that. That's the color Surly Dev picked. Okay, so hang on. I think my bot is in here, so let me... did I not bring it in? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Either way, let's just do this. Yeah, pudding, I should only activate rainbow if I do it. So, yep, rainbow. And it just starts going again. So, there's rainbow. Yeah, Matt. Definitely don't need the hot dog stand color scheme, but you could basically create it anytime you wanted by just, you know, specifying that color scheme. But that's rainbow right there. Clearly we're not done with it because obviously we would want to do a couple of things like disable the menu command while this is going so that like it doesn't try to like so people aren't trying to change the menu color because this should just win that it's in this mode. But we could make it run so much longer. I think this would be a cool feature to just like, you know, have someone be able to enable that they want rainbow to go and it's just going to start transitioning the colors around. Yeah, it's kind of cool to watch, because it's completely random. We have no idea where it's going to shift. So some of these, like a corner, doesn't change, and other ones it all does. So it's really cool. Yeah, the smooth transition does look really nice. I like it a lot. I think that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down the program there. So that's not going. Let's take a look. So that's the to-do that we needed to do because we made that public. So we need to move it elsewhere. Something needs to be helping out with colors. So I think maybe this will be an extension method on menu colors. How does that sound? I think an extension method on color, or menu color, or just put it on menu color actually. Yeah, I think that might work. This returns back a menu color, so get random color is just this. It's so do I have a static rand in here? I do. That gets created. Okay. That's probably its only use. So let's put random palette on menu colors. That seems like the right place to put it. I guess we'll put it on the bottom. So that would be menu colors dot random palette, and then this should no longer be used. So we're going to steal it. We're going to put it over in menu colors. And for anyone that is wondering, when you seed random, you want to make sure that you are seeding random in such a way that... random number generation, for anyone that doesn't know, is not random per se. They are calculated numbers that feel random and are random-ish. And the way that they're created is, yeah, they're pseudo-random numbers, exactly, as Surly mentions. They're based on a seed. So the random class that exists within C# is, by default, seeded based on a time value. So you need to make sure that no one can figure out what that initial time value is, and has no control over it. So in this case, because it's whenever the streamer happened to load up the program is when it's going to get seeded to, because the fact that this is static and the way that it's set up, that's not really going to matter. And in addition, in our application, because we're not doing something along the lines of like building a gambling system or something like that, there is not really a need to be super careful with how we seed this. But just know that if you are doing anything with like building a game or something like that, consider the fact that someone might be able to predict and figure out what that seed is for certain uses of random. So if you are in that case, look it up and figure it out that way. Greetings, Mihai TV. Welcome. Yeah, it's just static. Now, so we could technically change the seed at different points if we wanted to, Pudding, but we really don't need to. So that is actually one option, what Pudding is mentioning there. If you are concerned about it, you can change the seed so that people can't predict what seed you're on. So if you redo it, but again, because we're just changing menu colors, it really doesn't matter, because that's all we're using it for. Yes, Matt, it does. Yes, yep, that's exactly what I said. It uses current time as the default value for seed. Okay, so random palette should now work from there, which means in the rainbow command, instead of getting it from menu command, we get it from menu colors. Menu colors. Okay. Yeah, Mihai TV, doing pretty well. Yeah, no problem, Groves. You're failing at pirate language, you'll stop. R. We're checking the RGB. Alright. So I almost wonder if we want this running longer. Maybe this is a setting. Okay, so we're gonna say configurable time. To do this high and disable menu command and further instances of this command. Basically, we're going to want to write this so that we're going to want to tweak this so that two people can't trigger the random command or something like that at the same time. Otherwise, we would just be burning way too many extra cycles. Open this, connect. Wait, not random. Rainbow, that's the word I was going for. So, that is what it does. You just need a leg up. Ha! Oh man, Surly Dev, you win. That was a good one. What? The elevator's not working? What kind of corporation is this? Yeah, there we go. Yes. Rainbow, then specific color, then random again. So rainbow just gets it doing this. So we should be, so if you effectively, we want to make it as, if you do anything else once rainbow is activated while this is running, we don't want you to do anything else. So no other changing of colors while it is doing rainbow, because this is silly as it is. I should move that off the screen just in case. I don't know if anybody has to worry about flashing lights or anything like that. This game was made in the 90s, so it's got some issues with that. So blinking lights will happen. So yeah, the thing that I like about it is game performance. Nothing seems to be messed up while it's doing this. So while rainbow mode is activated, the game is totally playable. Nothing seems weird. So I was worried that, like, having a program going in there and altering the memory of another program while it's running might have some negative consequence, but I'm not seeing one, so I think it's pretty good. And for anyone that really wants to mess with stuff, you can do those two. Oh, I've got them turned off. Hang on. Figures, I click buttons and then I forget that I've got the feature turned off. Is it gonna work this time? No. Of course not. Thanks, game. Wow, that looked really ugly with that color palette. Huh. So, pretty cool. We don't need to save this, though, because we're not doing anything interesting here. No actual game changes. Oh no, oh no, oh, crap. Yeah, so about that, we need to do a thing with that. Let's fix the code. Anybody else see what happened? This is the question for chat. What happened? we said we were just doing that, you know, for the fun of just trying it, but something definitely happened there. Yep, you got it every afternoon. All the chat commands triggered at the end, which is why we needed to do our code a little bit differently than we did. So, essentially, what happened is we did block the thread. I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to give us more than one thread when we did this. So it sounds like the way that we get these commands back from TwitchLib is essentially I want to fire up a task that's going to run in its own thread, essentially. So that we don't block. Is the short answer. I don't want to block that. So we'll probably just fire up a task and get it running separately, and then that'll make everything all nice again. Not sure I got texted during the fight. Oh, yeah. No, I just meant if you look at chat, you'll see that all the commands got their responses at the end of the fight. So essentially, what we need to do is this: we need to spin this up as a separate thread and do one of these. And then this should be fine, I think. I think as long as we did this, it wouldn't be an issue, and this would spin it up running separately. But I'll confirm that. Yeah, so the rainbow mode was preventing it from... essentially, it was getting the chat, but what's happening is the way that that TwitchLib is getting those values, because it must have it all synchronous, it ends up blocking on that. So let's bring up the menu, if it'll let me. There we go. And now I should be able to just do rainbow again. And just to check, no, still catching it. Because I should have been yelled at by each of those to stop. So, bummer. Didn't block it there either. Why did this not let it go? I don't want to await it. I kind of want to fire it and forget it, but I'm wondering if it'll... Oh, whoops. Oh, async can't have an in. Well, that's a problem then, because then we can't override it. Do the thing. Create a method, do the thing, make it async async void. Someone's gonna shoot me. Async. Yeah, well, async void. Someone will shoot me. Can I return this? And then just put this in here, actually? I forget how to do this. Yeah, it's gonna complain because I did that. Alright, let's try it this way. Every afternoon, what thing did it think was a link that's not a link, clearly? Because that probably thought something was a link that was not a link, could be my guess. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's working perfectly. No problems there. Yep, nothing weird going on here, no. Totally normal. That's the effect I wanted. I should probably get that off the screen, like, now. Yeah, so... that wasn't what we were going for. So, what happened? So because we were in here, I bet we didn't wait when we were actually doing our other work. Oh, well, I triggered it twice. That would also cause a problem. Maybe that's all it was. That would be hilarious if that was really the only issue, just the fact that it was going in two different directions at the same time. See, does it still blink or is it just blending? Okay, so it was just that there were two going at the same time. I was gonna say, like, why is this doing that? That doesn't make sense. So, while that's going, will this... Nope, won't reply. Bummer. Bummer. Why is it still locking that thread? No, we're still locking the thread. We'll need to figure that one out. Why you block thread? Sounds about right. Oh crap, I did await it. You're right. I did await it. I was originally intending to not await it, and then I was like, I gave up because I was like, you're squigglying me, I'll do what you say. Hey, Plastique. No, still blocking the thread, see? Yeah, see, Coding Gorilla and Pudding, still not letting me get away with that, because I can't use my other commands while this one's going. So this is still blocking it. I mean, I could technically spin up a thread, but I really don't want to spin up a thread on her, like, that just seems like the wrong way. You still have an async task? You think the tasking aspect of it's going to cause the problem? The async method lacks an await operator and will run synchronously. Yeah, they can just do this. But I think this is what we originally tried, and it didn't, it still blocked the thread. This was our first attempt at it, and it didn't like this. So that's why we're trying to go the other way. But, yeah, see? I think this is what, I think this is what we tried first, and this didn't work. Because we did it this way just when it was inside of the execute method. We just did a task run right up here. This to-do is still useful. Just in case I, you know, don't finish this up in the next however long it takes to finish this. We could specify a cancellation token. Yeah, so every afternoon when you're using async and await, it will just leave some things synchronous if it thinks it can, or if there's no reason to async it. C# is very smart about those kinds of things. Well, either way, yeah, I think run is the one that's supposed to do it. Let's do a quick Google. Start does not wait, it's a void returning, whereas run. Yeah, Coding Girl, I don't think it should block, so we're clearly doing something that it doesn't like. Yeah, I don't have a task.start here that is really going to do anything useful. Because we'd need to have the task, so we could create it. Yeah, so we'd create a task and tell it to start. It's a good point. Well, here, let's do this. And see what happens. Can we do that? No. Doesn't like our crazy. So it's actually a combat one. Here, let me show you. it should yell at us that it only works in combat, and it's irrelevant what it is. It's just that it's not happening. So it's the fact that we didn't get any response from it that's really the problem. So let me hop over to settings and here, let me try it again. Connect, and we'll start up a rainbow. There it goes. Oh, actually, never mind. It is working now. That is funny. So there we go. See, we're all right. It wasn't supposed to block the thread. It doesn't block the thread. Now it should work. Regen. Fearless is disabled. That's fine. Okay, so it's not blocking the thread. Good. It shouldn't have been blocking the thread. So we're not crazy. That's why I was like, it shouldn't be blocking the thread. Short answer is, it isn't. We were right. Doing that works fine. Mark as on and disable. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, I think it did, but I'm guessing that we must have, like, one of those intermediate steps, like maybe when we were in the async method, it synchronized it, and it must have just not worked one time when we had it like this, or maybe we didn't fully get it restarted and rebuilt. I'm not sure, but hey, I'm not going to complain. So that creates a rainbow command that is only executable by the broadcaster right now. So add the rainbow command. So, sort of pudding. You did notice what was actually going on there. So effectively what happens is, because of the way status effects work in Final Fantasy VII, essentially what we're doing is we're telling the game, hey, this status effect needs to get applied, this status effect needs to get applied, this status effect needs to get applied, this status effect needs to get applied. And the reason we have to do it that way is we can't just add one, because the game needs to update a bunch of different state effects from it. So the way that combat in the game works is when an attack or something like that needs to add a status effect, it basically adds it to a list of like status effects to apply. And then when the current animation, the current thing ends, it will then show it. So because the enemy was attacking us at that moment, the game would not apply the status effect until the enemy's attack animation finished. When that animation finished, then the game would apply the effect. So it's just how the game has combat running. So it's just what we had to do to make that work. So happens. Should still be rainbowing, right? I think. No, maybe we're done rainbowing. Oh, I closed the program. Yeah, it's done rainbowing. Oh. But either way, I think that worked pretty well, actually. Let's make this actually use a setting. So, menu color settings. We're going to say enable rainbow command equals true. And enable rainbow command right there. So now in the rainbow command, it's going to be Menu settings, enable rainbow command is now the setting required for this command to be active. And then its command word is specified right here, but we should allow that to be something else. Well, no, we wouldn't be altering what the bad breath attack did, but we could apply any settings we wanted. You'll notice I was trying to apply the Peerless setting, which if you know Final Fantasy VII at all, well, if you know it at all, you probably don't know what Peerless is, but if you know it really, really well, you probably do know what Peerless is, and this basically makes the characters almost immortal, so that would be way too powerful to actually have trigger in the game, so... okay, yeah, we're not the broadcaster return, so... Do we work on it? So we added that. Yeah. But there's no reason to alter what bad breath does, because realistically we can, anyone can just add those if they wanted. Okay, so I think that that is probably a good spot for this. So add and enable rainbow command setting. Click of the button, click of the button, click of the button. So, as I mentioned earlier on in the stream, we are doing a new video series here on DevChatter. It's actually going on our YouTube channel, and the series is our DevChatter Basics series. The first episode that we did is an episode that talks about extension methods. I'm currently working on episodes about types as well as interfaces, so we're going to be discussing those topics for C# developers. Chris, thank you very much for that follow, greatly appreciated. And feel free to check out our videos over there on YouTube. I made a playlist specifically for that series, so if you want to check those out without looking at the archives of our live streams, the DevChatter Basics playlist is the place to go. Other stuff of relevance, if you are interested in chatting with me or the other DevChatter community members outside of the stream, the best place to do that is to join our Discord, which links over there in the chat as well as down below. And we do actually have source code for a lot of the projects that we do here on the stream over on GitHub at github.com/devchatter. And lastly, I am going to toss a link to my Twitter. I want to do a couple of things. First off, I want to make sure that I ask all of you to hang out with us today, as I am going to have us raid over onto another stream that is another one of the live coders here on Twitch. So spreading some of that love around, because I think it's good stuff. The place... Before we jump over there, I want to make sure that I outline a couple of things, and the first one of those is that you don't have to stick around in the chat all that long, but please follow us along on the raid and say hi when we get there, as that is a nice thing to do. So at least check out their stream. Don't have to hang out there for too long. That's up to you. If you enjoy it, go for it. So I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Matt Groves for cheering today. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the stream. I want to thank our moderators for helping us out. These wonderful people that followed us, and Rubix, Katrina, and Paramedic, all for the Twitch Prime resubs, which 2 of those were 12-month resubs, which is really awesome. So I want to, yes, Nightbot is listed in their pudding. Nightbot does help us out a little bit, so it does keep some of the like actual trolls that roam around on Twitch at bay. But we should be back again tomorrow, everyone, at our regular time. So look at your clock, subtract about 3 hours, and that's about our start time on Tuesdays. So assuming that I'm able to get the stream started on time, that's when it'll be. And either way, I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me today. I'm going to toss up our end screen, but then a little bit afterwards, we will hop on over to that raid. Should be a lot of fun. So let me go ahead and get that all queued up by clicking these buttons. Clicky button, clicky button. Clicky the buttons. So we're going to do that, get the raid started, and I am going to toss us on here. Have a great day, everyone. Happy coding, and I'll see you tomorrow.